You know, I'm quite enjoying my expedition into the more endgamey side of things. I don't personally use the builds myself, but just seeing how high the numbers can get is very satisfying. I like tinkering around with builds and seeing what weird things I can come up with. Plus, a lot of you guys seem to enjoy my little descent into the rabbit hole of endgame builds. So let's check out another one. Now this one is for the Glaive Prime in particular. You can use it on the normal Glaive, but it's of course going to be a lot better on the Glaive Prime. It's probably not what you're expecting though, because this build is a hybrid in more ways than one. It's of course the standard hybrid in that it uses status and crit, but it also uses both light and heavy attacks at the same time. It's also, just like the last setup, not my thing at all. I very much prefer volatile rebound setups because it's just fun to throw the glaive and watch it explode over and over and over again. However, when it comes to damage, the setup I'm about to show you, even though it might look a little bit weird in the arsenal, is the way to go. It is just pure brutality. So here's what the setup looks like, and it actually fits with Zero Forma, which is very nice. Now the thing you will notice here is that it's sort of an amalgamation of a light and heavy attack build with reflex coil. The main benefit here is that it allows you to do heavy attacks at 12 times combo, which gives you a tremendous amount of damage as opposed to a normal heavy attack setup, which usually does them at 2 times combo. It's so much damage in fact that you can easily drop some damage mods and put in stuff like combo efficiency and still end up with more damage at the end. Now for the stance, we're running Astral Twilight for its many multi-strikes, then we have Blood Rush for the crit scaling, Untitled Chapter for crit damage and heavy attack wind-up speed, Reflex Coil for the heavy attack efficiency, which basically makes you drain or less combo with the heavy attack. Then we have to run some combo duration, and I chose Drifting Contact, which also adds some extra status because we're going to be running Zenutic, so we can't rely on Naramon to keep up our combo. Then you put on either Primed Pressure Point or Condition Overload, though Condition Overload in most cases is going to be better, especially if you're using a priming weapon or you have a companion that's going to be spraying the enemy with status as well. Then we move on to Volatile Quick Return, which removes all the bounces, it disables Punch Through, and it makes the glaive explode on impact, but most importantly it adds +3 to blast radius, so the blast radius on the heavy attack goes from 4.8 to 7.8. This isn't actually necessary, you can run something else here, but it makes the heavy attacks much easier to land. And we top it all off with Virulent Scourge and Vicious Frost for a ton of Viral and status, and we don't really need to worry about slash here at all because the Glaive Prime has a forced slash proc on its heavy attack. Now one thing you may have noticed on that build is that I'm not actually running any attack speed, and that's because I'm getting all the attack speed I need from Arcane Strike. I'm also juicing up the Blood Rush effect a little bit by running Gladiator Resolve and Gladiator Aegis on my arrows as well. And finally we have Focus, which as I've mentioned already is going to be Zenutic, and this is because of the Inner Might node. This passively gives you 60% heavy attack efficiency. This in combination with Reflex Coil gives you so much heavy attack efficiency that if you do a heavy attack at 12 times combo, you're going to drop to 10 times combo, so it's only going to take you about 20 to 30 hits to build it back up to full. Now building the combo initially isn't all that much fun because you're not doing that much damage, but since we're running Astral Twilight we have a ton of multi-strikes, so getting up to 12 times is actually not too bad. You'll also notice that as you climb through the different combo tiers, your light attacks start doing decent damage, and that's because this is not a heavy attack build, it's a hybrid build. It works as both a light attack build and a heavy attack build, though it's of course more focused towards the heavy attack side of things. So don't use this if you're looking for a good light attack setup. Now just in case you don't know, the way you do a heavy attack with a glaive is you have to hold down the attack button, which will throw the glaive, and then while the glaive is in the air you press the heavy attack button, which will detonate it. Now just in case you're not watching in full screen or you're watching on your phone, those slash procs are doing 103,599 damage per tick. Now that might not sound extremely impressive until you realize that there was no viral on the enemy, this was just pure slash. Even the worst case scenario, which is a yellow crit without viral, still does 55,000 damage per tick. So what the hell happens when you do get a viral proc? Well, let me show you. Now I do realize that this looks absolutely horrid, but I'm zooming in and slowing it down at the same time, so you know, what can you do? But anyway, we have 207,198 damage per tick, and that's with one viral proc. One. If you're running a priming weapon, it doesn't matter if you're dual wielding it with the glaive or you're using another priming weapon, or you have a companion that can spray the enemy in viral or other status effects, so you can even take advantage of Condition Overload, you can do much, and I do mean much more. And the beauty of this setup is this isn't like a one-time thing. You can do it over and over and over again because it only takes, like as I've said, 20 to 30 hits to build it back up, which with Astral Twilight basically means 1 or 2 enemies thanks to all the multi-strikes. So if you like the Glaive Prime or the standard Glaive, or you're interested in this setup in general, I would highly recommend you give it a shot. It is not very expensive, it just requires some basic mods, and it is something different. It's not quite a light attack build, it's not quite a heavy attack build, but what it is definitely very, very strong. And that's pretty much it for the video, so I thank you very much for watching as always, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it and found it helpful, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.